That ride is running, look.
Good morning, everyone. We are back on EDSA. This is the northbound, and even though traffic is quite light, there are still people misusing the EDSA Busway, the exclusive bus lane. Now, I did see that that vehicle there has a proper LTO license plate inside his car, but he's running on a temporary plate, which is also broken. So I wonder, why is the real license plate inside and then the temporary plate is installed on the outside? He was told to pull to the side for ticketing. There you go, the enforcers grabbed it at the front. That one there is also being pulled to the side for bus lane ticketing. And likewise, they're pulling over that Fortuner for ticketing. A lot of people got used to seeing the MMDA on the southbound. Now they're suddenly surprised that they're also catching on the northbound. It's often like that when people see enforcers. That's the time they want to leave the exclusive bus lane. Oh look, there's a member of the Hazard gang, but this time it's a bus, so he is actually allowed inside the bus lane. They've also apprehended many motorcycles. They usually leave a little bit sooner than the cars. I guess because it's much easier for them to maneuver themselves out of the bus lane. There's two cars in the bus lane. One of them's trying to leave the SUV at the back. One of the other enforcers is going to grab the silver one, and that enforcer will grab the Ford. He did try to leave the bus lane, but he just wasn't quick enough. See, there's some MCs in the background also, but they just pulled to the side. It's much easier for them to maneuver and hide themselves. There's another car coming there. I assume he'll be apprehended. Yep, you see the enforcer pulling him off to the side now. They pulled them all to the side so they won't obstruct the buses. There's another vehicle that was closely following one of the buses. They advised that driver to pull to the side for ticketing. Looks like he's going to comply.
That ride is running, look. Now he's trapped inside the bus lane.
Even if he does manage to escape, they'll just ask LTO to issue a show cause order, and you're looking at a much bigger headache then compared to a simple ticket. Now, one of the comments I often see when someone runs away, especially a motorcycle, is they'll say, why didn't you push him off? Or why didn't you shoot the tire or something crazy like that? Well, can you imagine the public outcry? People would say, why did you risk killing a rider just because he used the bus lane? But then on the flip side, other people will say, maybe he was carrying, maybe he's a for hire. And they have encountered those kind of things before. Now, just to be clear, I'm not accusing him of any of those things. I'm just telling you what people have said in the past and situations that the MMDA enforcers have encountered in the past. You would always assume that someone is innocent until proven guilty in a court. So this is just a general discussion. On the southbound, bus lane violators have the advantage because they're at the top of the hill looking down at the enforcers, meaning they can see them from a long way away and they can easily hide before the enforcers get a chance to see them. Look at that, it's in the bus lane. There's an ambulance that needs to get through. I'm trying not to spend too much time showing them issuing the tickets because I might miss something important inside the bus lane. They do have a spotter over there, so he has the height advantage to see even further. Again, it's a nice car, but obviously it's not a bus, right? Likewise, he is being pulled off to the side. I think it's good to mix up the area because it reminds people that no matter where you go on EDSA, if you misuse the bus lane, there's at least a chance that you're going to be apprehended. You might not always be apprehended, but there's a chance. One of the things I've seen several times today is riders that say, okay, I'll pull to the side, but then they keep going straight. And then the next enforcer catches them and they say, okay, I'll pull to the side. And then they go straight again. And the problem is, if there's an opening, vroom, they're gone, right? And if the enforcer uses any kind of force, or if he raises his voice, they'll often say, oh, you're abusive, you're out of line. When really, they're just trying to do their job, but people keep trying to run away. They stopped this one, and this one. Mostly the cars are compliant. I guess they know that trying to escape is very difficult if you're on four wheels. See all the riders in the background. Oh no, there's an enforcer up ahead. Leave the bus lane. So they know, right? And I want to make that clear because some people say maybe they don't know it's a bus lane. They know it's a bus lane. That's why they leave the moment they see an enforcer. I still see comments from people saying, why don't you just put a camera there and then issue the ticket based on the registration? That's what they were doing before. It's called non-contact apprehension. Problem is there's a temporary restraining order against that from the Supreme Court, so they cannot use their cameras for enforcement right now. That was the result of the case that was filed against the 5 LGUs that launched their own NCAP. There were a lot of complaints about their NCAP, and I can understand why people weren't happy with it. It's just unfortunate that somehow MMDA got included in that temporary restraining order. So until that's resolved, they have to do everything manually, and people do take advantage of that. This guy's going pretty fast. I hope he slows down. No hazard lights, that's a difference. The enforcer has advised him to pull to the side. I'm just making sure. Okay, looks fine. See all the MC in the background. It's definitely more challenging when you have a whole bunch of MCs that suddenly cut back to the regular lanes and then try and hide between other riders. The reality is that some riders might slip through, but they are trying to apprehend as many as they can. Look, see how he suddenly left the bus lane? Let's see if the enforcer manages to catch him. It's 2 up, orange jacket. There you go. Motorcycle taxi by the looks of it. There you go. Apprehending that car for coding. I remember on Monday they apprehended so many vehicles for coding and all of them had an excuse. I remember one in particular, she was insisting it's an emergency, and I even heard the enforcer saying, what's the emergency? And she couldn't explain it, and then he said, oh, maybe you have like a text message or a phone call or something about this emergency. Nothing as well. And that's the thing, right? People tell enforcers all day, every day, these different reasons, or you could say excuses in some cases. And a lot of the time it's a lie. Not always, there are genuine emergencies, but a lot of the time it's a lie. Even here in the bus lane, the amount of drivers and riders that will argue and argue and argue. I wasn't in the bus lane. Even if you saw them from so far away, even if you have a video, just like the rider the other day, he argued for around 15 minutes with the enforcer, demanding, show me the proof that I was in the bus lane. The thing is, I saw him, and I have a video. Very clear video from very far away. So sometimes the problem is all the enforcers are tied up with violators, so some people slip through compared to the camera before where it's running 24/7. The rider said he's going to pull to the side. They will assist him.